November, went into the service.
So Vietnam was at its height back then.
That was
67?
No, that was 60. I graduated in 64, so when the service in fall of 64, I spent 2 years in various schools. I did did basic training in Fort Leavenworth, Missouri. Went to California for advanced infantry training, and then was set to ship into the Army Security Agency, which I didn't like when I got there, so I had to go to Special Forces to get out of that, and they accepted me. And then I was on the U.S. Army wrestling team, and because I was going to Special Forces, I couldn't stay there, but I was on the Army wrestling team. And then I went to Fort Benning, Georgia for jump school, which is where I got to learn how to jump out of airplanes. And then went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and became a Special Forces medic, cross-trained in weapons. And they shipped me to San Antonio, Texas, where we were not long ago. And I did the schooling down there. I was there for almost 7 months. And that is where I actually met Brandy, which was my first wife. So she ended up getting shipped to Fort Bragg. I went back to Fort Bragg after my training was done. And then they talked me into going to officer candidate school. So I was shipped to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Became a artillery officer. Was shipped back to Fort Bragg, North Carolina with the 82nd Airborne Division. And 6 months later, I was assigned to Vietnam, 101st Airborne Division there, and was on my way. Spent 6 months trickling across the country, visiting friend after friend and eating my way. I gained a lot of weight going across the country. I must have gained 20 pounds. None of my clothes fit when I got to Vietnam. I arrived in country, and they sent me to near Saigon. They had a school to break us in, and I was well trained, and so would still spend the week doing what they call acclimation. On the way back from acclimation, I got right smack into the reality of what war is all about, because one of the guys on the truck taking us back to be shipped north pulled the trigger on his M79 grenade launcher, and the round left the gun and hit another soldier right in the back of his neck and killed him. That was very weird. So, didn't blow us up because it didn't get armed. So, hello Vietnam. Then they shipped me up to near Hue, and so after I left the airport, I got on a helicopter that took me out to the battery, to where I was going to be going. And he didn't even let me get off the helicopter. The guy says, "Get back on the helicopter. They're sending you right out to the field. The lieutenant you're going to replace got hurt." And so they shipped me out right that afternoon out to the field.